If I plan to sell my business down the line, what should I think of now when it comes to dealing with a board and shareholders?
That's a great question. If you are planning to sell your business down the line, what do you need to think about when it comes to dealing with a board of directors and shareholders? I'm assuming that you are a shareholder and you will probably also be a director, one of the many directors on the board. If you're looking to sell, the first thing you want to think about is, where do you think the value of your business will reside? Will it be in intellectual property, assets? Will it be in customer contracts and the revenues generated from them? Will it be in subscriptions? Is it a different type of model for the business? You really want to get granular on why you think your business will be valuable and why you think it will help whoever acquires it achieve value from that acquisition. So whatever they're paying for, how are they going to get value from that? This will help you identify who your target buyer is. And the more you have clarity on who your target buyer will be in the future, then you have a better sense of the type of businesses that they buy and what those businesses look like. This is for someone who is really in it to win it, okay? They're really in it to sell, and they have a path from inception towards selling their business. These are the ones who I see most often are successful about selling their business when they think critically about that exit and they get extremely detailed on what they envision for the business. And here's why. If you know in 10 years you want to sell to X type of company, that they buy companies that look like X because their value is in such and such place, and those buyers use what they're buying in a specific way to create even more value for them. When you have that level of clarity, you don't get distracted about things that don't move the needle on helping you achieve your goal. So if you're looking to exit, you want to get clear on that. Okay, because then you're going to get a roadmap for what the businesses who are bought by those type of buyers, what do they look like? What do their boards look like? How big are they? What are the relationships of the people to those founders? For example, how did they find those board members? Did they use a search firm to find some of their board members? Did they just line it up with a bunch of people that they knew and already had long relationships with, where their independence and judgment might be compromised? Sometimes you need to bring in fresh blood because you need people who are willing to think critically and independently and move the business out of a groupthink format, especially if all of the people involved in the business are ones who have been there, who have been associated with you for a really long time. That's a scary prospect. In fact, it is considered many times a dangerous prospect to bring in new people to your business that you don't have long-term relationships with. But it is something to consider when it comes to comprising your board. You also want to make sure that you have adequate control over your board. You can't bring in so many people who are unfamiliar with the business that it really does end up being a runaway train and takes you off track from the vision that you have for your business as a founder. You want people on your board who understand and agree with the vision that you have for your business, who bring to the table a level of experience and intellect, relationships, and potentially money that can help you realize that vision. These are not people working in the day-to-day of your business typically, but instead these are people who have been there, done that, and they've got something to bring to the table concerning how your business is run. My best advice for you if you're looking to sell later on is to be extremely careful about who you give equity to. So often I see people offering equity up to anybody that they don't want to pay cash services for. Okay, cash in exchange for their services. Well, we'll give you a bit of equity. I often view these people as not being very serious about their business. I mean, it sounds harsh, but it's true. I think it's true. If you're serious about your business, you don't give away equity easily because there's very few circumstances in which you can force them out of that equity, not in any way that doesn't create crazy blowback for you. So I would say be extremely careful about who you give equity to. And you want to make sure that you're getting more than services. If you're going to them for services, you get more than services. If you're going to them for money in exchange for equity, you get more than money. I tell people other people's money is very expensive. So always get more than money. Always. When people go to investors, I've seen a lot of LOIs from investors and from people who are looking to buy. And almost every single one of them are presenting something in their offer other than money to make themselves appealing as a buyer. These buyers understand my money is not enough. I need to offer something more than money. And if you are looking for cash from investors, be darn sure that you're getting more than cash if you're giving equity. You want them to offer something more than money. If all you need is money, become bankable, okay? Put yourself in a position where you can go to a bank and you can get money and not have to give equity. There's a reason why people choose investors over banks, and it's not simply a matter of, well, I can't get a loan, okay? They're choosing it strategically, and you want to do the same. Be careful of who you give equity to, and make sure it lines up with your long-term vision. Lots to think about if you are looking to sell down the line and you're thinking about, how you need to deal with a board and with your shareholders. If you're looking to sell down the line, the number one thing you want to do is to act strategically from the start when it comes to establishing your board and choosing who will be shareholders in your corporation.